Hello everyone, today's lesson is lesson 67, recording transactions in a checkbook register. So we've been practicing writing checks. But before we write a check, we need to know how much money we have in our checking account. It's the same as if you're going to use a credit card or a debit card. You need to know how much money you have first before you can actually use that money. So you can keep track of how much money you have in what's called a checkbook register. And this is kind of what that looks like. This NO here means number, and that's where I write the number of the check. The next column is the date using digits. The third column says description of transaction, and that's where I write to whom I wrote the check and why I wrote it. The next column says amount of payment or withdrawal, and I write the amount I wrote the check for, or how much I got. I'm not going to use this column with the check mark right now. Okay. And then the amount of deposit or interest will keep track of the money I deposit or put into my account. And then the last column keeps track of how much money I have in my check account. So right now, this week I got paid $750, and I'm going to deposit in my bank account. Okay. So I would write down that it is a deposit, and I'd write down the check number. Or I don't have the check number, so I have the deposit. Okay. I'm not withdrawing anything. So I'm not going to put anything in that category. And then I'm depositing $750. So I'm going to write $750. The line is where I put the decimal, and then my zeros go after it. So my balance going forward is I'm adding $750. So my balance is $750. So now I need to go to the grocery store. And I spent $30 on groceries, and I wrote check number 100 to pay for those groceries. Now, could I write a check for $800? No, I couldn't, because I only have $750 in my account. So sometimes banks charge us money if I don't have enough money in my account when I write a check. So it's very important to keep track of how much money I spent, so I don't have to pay any penalties or extra money to the bank. Okay. So we're going to show how we put in the how much money we spend using checks. So I wrote check number 100 to pay for groceries. So in this left-hand box, I'm going to write number 100. Okay. Who I wrote this check to, I would write it to a store because I went to get groceries. So let's say I went to Walmart. So I would write Walmart. And why did I write it? I wrote it for food. Okay. So I spent $30. So I would write $30 in the amount of payment or subtraction column. Now I didn't get any money, so I didn't get anything for the additions column. So in my balance forward, I would write subtract $30. And then I would subtract these amounts to find my balance. So I still have no pennies or dimes. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 7 minus nothing is 7. So I have a total of $750 in my account. Now let's say I went and bought some other stuff, and I spent $69.40. So check 101. I went to a restaurant. So let's say I went to Olive Garden, and I bought dinner. Okay, so I would continue this line down. And I spent $69.40. Okay, again, I didn't have any interest or a deposit. So then I would take this amount and subtract $69.40. So when I subtract it, I would end up with, if I need to borrow, all the way over. Oh, not that far. This actually becomes a 10. There we go. All the way to there. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 minus 4 is 6. Decimal. 9 minus 9 is 0. I have to borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5. And 6 minus nothing is 6. So I'd have a total of $650.60 in my account. Alright, so that's how we use a check register. We don't use them too much anymore, but it is a good way to keep track of how much money you're using. And you can even do this with credit cards and debit cards. And that's it for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.